Cue Control. I'm Vincent Halliday, this is Richard Halliday. Today we're going to talk about a bridge hand. Richard, can you give us a few pointers on a perfect bridge?
Yeah, so first step you want to do is place your hand firm on the table and spread your fingers wide. Then you want to raise up your knuckles slightly off the bed of the table and make sure your fingertips grips the cloth. And then last step, you want to take your thumb and place it against your index finger. Now this gives you a very nice runner to strike the cue ball.
What mistakes do you see in some beginners? What do they do wrong? Or amateurs, even pros, some pros?
Yeah, some of the most common mistakes is I would say is this bridge hand is not stable enough. So when they're playing, it's moving all the time. So what you want to do is make sure your pads is touching the bed of the table and it's very firm, like someone can't move it from you. Right? And then what I also see some amateurs do, they lift their hand slightly off the bed of the table while they play. Well, this can cause inconsistent hits on the cue ball. So you really want to just place it down and firm. Then the last thing I also see some amateurs do is the thumb. It's like always moving around. There's not a nice V. So what you want to have is a very nice V, so it gives the cue a nice runner.
Okay, Richard, that clears up the placement of the bridge hand. What is the right space between the cue ball and your bridge hand?
So the most common thing I see is probably people's bridge hand is too long or too close to the cue ball, right? It's got their downfalls and their benefits, but I think the precise way you want to do it is take one hand from the cue ball and just place your hand there. And this is more or less the right distance between your hand and the cue ball. So I can explain you guys, like if your hand is too close, you don't have a lot of cue power, and obviously sighting the balls is a bit harder. And then the other common mistake I see is when the bridge hand is too far away. Now what happens is if you move your hand slightly at the back, the tip can move a lot off the cue ball. So the closer you go, the less it can move. So yeah, the ideal distance I would say for me, it's one hand from the ball.
But I heard a lot of players say on further shots they like to make the bridge a little bit longer.
Yeah, that you can sight better like that. I would recommend it when you have a pressure ball and it's in the pocket, or maybe a fine cut or something, because you can really sight better, but you lose some feel on it.
So for more consistency, rather get the perfect placement on the hand.
Yeah, try to keep your hand exactly the same every time.
Okay, that clears up the bridge hand and the distance. Now, what is the relationship between the bridge hand and the back arm?
Okay, so the easiest way to do this, first take your bridge hand, place it firm on the table. Then what you want to do is make sure that this hand is 90 degrees, right? And this will give you the perfect stroke into your chest. So you don't want to be too close, then you have no distance into your chest. You've got no power there. And you don't want to be too far, because that makes your bridge too long, your backswing. So 90 degrees, one hand from the cue ball, and that's the perfect cue action.
So that will lead to more consistency.
Yeah, that will give you a lot more consistency and better potting ability.
So Richard, we had a question from a viewer, Ben, that wants to know how to practice hitting the white ball with the right speed. So he also asked, what type of ball do you pot with what type of speed? Can you explain that to us?
Okay, well, this is a nice draw. You can get used to the table quickly. So what you want to do, idea of the drill is just to stop the cue ball in between these gaps. So let's say you can start out going in between every gap, and as you get better you can choose which one you want to go into. So let's say for instance you want to stop in here.
So in between this gap.
So
okay.
just and then between the 3 and 2.
And maybe a difficult one. Hit the
Yeah,
cushion,
then
come
you can
back.
start hitting the cushion and come back, let's say between 4 and 5. So in the beginning you'll find this difficult, but as you get better, your cue control will be a lot better, cue ball control.
And then he asked a question about how to hit certain balls. I
Okay.
don't think there's an exact way to hit certain balls. Every shot is different.
Yeah, I think the best you can say is hit the ball with authority. You don't want to roll the ball in, you don't want to overhit it. So every shot is almost the same speed. Just try to do it confident. I think more or less that's the speed you have to pot balls.
Because I think he saw a lot of people banging balls in from a basic position where it's not necessary. Rather just get a comfortable speed and play with that.
Yeah, I would say every player has got a different speed, so you got to find your own speed and which one you pot best with.
This is your shot of the day. So if you find yourself in this position and you can't stun back straight up to the black, use free cushions. Use bottom left. So it'll bounce from 1 to 3 cushions straight on the black. And that's your shot for the day. Thank you for watching our video. Please like the video and go hit that subscribe button and press that bell icon to get notified for new videos.
If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment and we'll get back to you.